is there something which I think could be good for Toshi? Well, maybe for its future, hypothetically, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Because not too long ago, Cointelegraph made a post on X, and it said that JP Morgan says decentralized finance and traditional finance are converging fast, citing pilots with Chainlink and Base. Now, as we all know, the Base network is Coinbase's layer 2 network, and then Toshi is a meme coin on Base. But again, if we just take a look at this, right, there's a lot of unanswered questions still, but I think anything kind of positive, relating to the Base network, I think could naturally somewhat also translate maybe to a certain extent to something like Toshi. And keep in mind, JP Morgan is absolutely massive. So I think this stuff right here is really crucial, especially in the long term, because let's say the Base network does hypothetically well, and let's say it does better than what it's already doing as of right now. Wouldn't I think the top projects on the Base network kind of somewhat go along with the ride? And the crazy thing is this. If I think about my top 3 projects on the Base network, I can name Brett, I can name Toshi, I can name Aerodrome, which is a decentralized exchange. But then Brett and Toshi, they're meme coins. It's kind of crazy to think about, right? I mean, Coinbase is layer 2. And then kind of like the top 3 most popular, arguably, I would say is like 2 out of the 3 being meme coins, and then the other one being a decentralized exchange, which many people even still consider not to be as good in terms of the hype and attention as like a pancake swap or even a Uniswap, right? Let alone, which is of course very massive, but I'm just saying, that's kind of surprising to me. I think it kind of showcases that even despite the notoriety, even despite kind of the Coinbase aspect of the Base network, it really hasn't been that kind of, I would say, out there in the mainstream yet in terms of having, so many developers build projects and all this type of stuff where something like Toshi is maybe, kind of somewhere down in the top 20 or top 30. It kind of hasn't really been that case, at least it feels like to me. So this is why I like Toshi so much. It's because when we saw Solana really take off, right, and it kind of recovered from the, pullback that it had ever since the 2021 bull run. When that was happening, guess what meme coins went along with the ride? Historically speaking, we saw something like Book a Meme. We, of course, saw Bonk, and Bonk is still doing hypothetically pretty good as of right now. But again, we kind of saw those earlier, I would say, kind of meme coins, like also Dog with Hat, for instance, that people often kind of associate with Solana, that went along with the ride. So could maybe Toshi show a glimpse of that? Arguably, I would say it already kind of did. However, of course, there was a pullback after, the rally that it had. But if, let's say, the altcoin space did a lot better and Base had more attention, 2 cents when it comes to Toshi wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, even though nothing I say is financial advice. Because if, let's say, Toshi went to the price of 2 cents, considering current circulating supply, market cap at that point would be around $8 billion. That's around 37x from here. Now I get it. Some people may be thinking, oh, that's kind of, what are you talking about? But here's the way to take a look at it, because Dogecoin reached over $80 billion in market cap, and that was years ago back in 2021. Toshi is never overtaking that, in my perspective, but I just don't see why this would be too ridiculous of a market cap, even if, let's say, Toshi went to the price of 1 cent and then, over 15x from here, right? Even at that point, if, let's say, Toshi maybe just went to the price of 1 cent, I still would not choose Bitcoin over this. Now, let me explain why. Because some people are saying Bitcoin may be to 300 grand. Now, Bitcoin, 300 grand, let's say in the next 6 to 10 months, who knows? That's still slightly less than a 3x from here. Again, right? Toshi, even at the price of just half a cent, is already beyond, well beyond, I should say, a 3x from here. So, if someone said Bitcoin or Toshi, I get it. Toshi is a meme coin, but then I would have to say Toshi. And now I'm not speaking on anyone's behalf. This is just my perspective, but that's just the way to take a look at it. I still believe in Toshi, but it is just a waiting game. At least I feel like that is for me, because beyond that, I cannot control anything. All I can do right now is stay patient, because whatever goes on with Toshi, whatever goes on with the market overall, that is beyond my control. I cannot do anything about that. So all I can do is just stay patient, and literally that's it. Because like in the beginning, when I was believing in Toshi and it had that pretty good run, I didn't know the exact time I was going to do that. It just kind of happened, right? So at the same time, let's say in the future, if Toshi ever decides to wake up again, how can I maybe be prepared for that? And that's by me just holding and just waiting, if let's say that ever does happen. Because beyond that, again, I can't control anything when it comes to what happens to the price and whatnot. So all I can do is stay patient. But I'm still very excited because for me, the factors as of right now look way more bullish than back in 2021. I mean, back then, again, in 2021, during the peak of that bull run, around 300 million crypto owners. Now we have over 600 million. And just again, the amount of crypto owners is way more, practically double. Not to mention, we take a look at the hype surrounding the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, and of course, the base network being a layer 2. I think, naturally, as Ethereum maybe, let's say, gets more attention, I think something like the base network could also go along with the ride. I also think Toshi is a pretty unique meme coin. I mean, it's named after the co-founder of Coinbase's pet cat named Toshi. It's also very similar. The name to Satoshi Nakamoto. There's Toshi Mart, which is basically kind of like a meme coin launchpad. There's also Toshi Tools, which is basically kind of, I would say in a sense, guiding someone towards their journey to be building on the base network. So I don't think Toshi is a bad project for me. All I gotta do is just stay patient, and that's about it. Whatever happens moving forward, it's beyond my control, but I'm just gonna still stay patient, and that's it. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.